as they say, we said OPP, and that turned the lights off. But we basically saying that when they do that, other countries, they enforce, well, not enforce, but they're living their lives out. We're pursuing happiness, and the happiness that we think is the money. But even though, uh, and I'm not trying to sit here and endorse anybody at this time, but what I'm basically saying is our life is short, very short. It's very short because of how we live, and we live for the money. And that was the OPP's, the other,
Other people's predecessors. That's what it means. Other
that
people's predecessor.
that was his theme song, uh, for the love of money. And he did everything. He's everything that song said that he would do. We got cut off.
Yeah, we got cut off.
We said OPP and it went dead.
Yep.
But we were saying OPP in this day and age for other predecessor, for the other predecessor. That's what we were saying, OPP. That was for today. But we fell down, and we as we had to get back up. But it's a lot to the blue zone, and what happens in the blue zone doesn't happen in America, because once we said it's competition versus what?
It's competition versus cooperation.
Absolutely.
That's what it is. And also in America, we are taught to even steal instead of cooperate.
Well, we not through spitting facts, Gail. So what we got here, and we want to share this with you guys, is that they had the top happiness, and we rank number what?
We're not even in the top 20 in terms of happiness anymore. We slept behind a Muslim country, Qatar, in terms of happiness.
What did they rank?
They rank 21 in terms of happiness. We're not in the top 20 in terms of happiness. And we got the 65th worst healthcare. 65th worst in the industry in the world.
And then in the blue zone, they spend less money.
Because they focus on prevention.
Yep. And we focus on drugging everybody up and releasing medicines that's not going to help, even if they get 20 years past their mark. If it is expensive then and it didn't work, hell, now it's just cheaper and it still don't work.
It still don't work. That what they want is to control you. Because if you were not in that medicine and that, you will be making the right decisions. When you're in that medicine, they got you. They can control you.
They can control you.
Yeah, they can control you.
Well,
They do Janet Jackson's control.
they do Janet Jackson control.
Yes.
Well, we're gonna get out of control, and what we want to share is what the Blue Zone use instead of DEI, which they use that because, like I said, the diversity, the inclusion, and the last one was what?
Diversity, inclusion,
And
and
we'll get it. Well, we wrote it in our description because we had it right here with us, but
equality.
yeah, equality. We are not equal in this, and we got cut off, JBR. That, as they say, struggle streaming. We said the word OPP, and then it went down because we was comparing the predecessor. Thank you, Gail. Diversity, equality, and inclusion, and that's what helped the blue zones exist longer. That's what we were trying to say. Our country, that's not that's not our standard. That's not our lifestyle at all. But what they do is they promote volunteering. They have connections to their family. What does our family do? Our family try to drag us, and it's hard to respect somebody that's trying to drag you. But they have respect for their elders, and
And in the United States, they just want the elders to die.
they have services and support for those who are in need, in creating more compassionate society. We don't have no compassion here. No, we don't. We're not trying to figure out a way to help the next person. We're trying to figure out a way to help ourselves. For as their measure of well-being, they have a strong sense of community. We don't even have a strong sense of ghetto. We don't have a strong sense of a neighborhood. We don't have
There
that.
is no neighborhood. There is no neighborhood at all. There is no community. We have neighborhoods. We don't have no community at all. Because in order to have a community, you need about three basic things: a code of conduct, one you can produce, and representatives that can help you with your best interests. We have none of those things.
And spirituality, well,
We sell it like TD Jakes,
well,
dollar dollar. Just pass on with the offering.
and what's even worse is now that this new Bible then came out, I've never had to.
Now
I,
you
I
get
had to go and get some Bibles and make sure that they not $69.99, but they the regular Bibles. And we were always taught you don't play with.
you don't play with the Bible at all.
Nah, that's
And
how
then you got the predecessor that's selling Bibles for $69.95 just to stay out of jail.
I tell you. For the things that have done, that's a what is it? A conflict of interest. For to have crime on one side, and to have crime on one side, and a Bible in the hand of another. Just make sure that when you go outside, do not stand up under a tree next to a person that's holding the Bible and committed all those types of sins. All right. Next, we have in groups. We need to value and we need to be heard and valued. We're not heard and valued in this country at all. We're not.
They
Not
don't want you
those.
heard and valued. They want you crushed. That's what they do. We're heard and valued when we're shot.
Now, in other countries, in the blue zones, they allow people to make life decisions that affects their lifestyle, to choose their diets, their social connections, the activities. Do that in here in this country, and what's gonna happen? You're gonna be bullied, eh, depending on what you choose. Your lifestyle can be a living hell. If you LGBT, look how long they've suffered. So Blue Zone win there. They don't invest in education because our teachers are the lowest paid.
They're not only the lowest trade, they're trying to even privatize education and get rid of people with unique abilities in the process, especially with vouchers.
All ages, all stages of life, from childhood to adulthood to seniors, should continue their education. That doesn't happen here. We have more.
We have more student debt. The loan, another one is the loan of student debt just to go to college.
And
Hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's a racket.
we don't emphasize health. Everything is in the blue zones, health. From going to the markets every day, we get in the car and we drive to the garbage can.
We don't even walk. We don't even walk. And that's why we're 70% overweight. Most Americans, 70% of Americans are even overweight because we don't even walk.
And when the last time you heard anybody say they're gonna teach life skills and social skills?
Never. Because what they are talking about in the United States, that the basics is just math and science and giving parental control. We got some irresponsible parents in the United States. Are you kidding me?
Well, I tell you what, and that's why. Um, what is it? No, Gail, we're not attacking you. We know you're a good parent, but they emphasize uh, training, going in, training the parents here. All right, and that's not what happens in the United States. The we have a lot of good parents here. Don't get me wrong, but they make it a priority in the blue zones to actually go in and train. And
And not only train for education. When you have an educated society, you're more likely to have responsible leaders and a responsible society.
even the birth rate um, here in the United States is the death rate for children at birth is very high. Not in blue zone countries. Not no, they're not. because they're giving that information. They're working with families, but we're not educated here. It's in here. It says that if one person, if once you graduate, if you read a book,
You
one
only read only one book mostly in your lifetime.
most
One book.
mostly in your lifetime.
And that's just the average person. The average rich person and wealthy person reads 100 books a year. 100 books a year to only one for the average person.
And remember, I said about walking to the markets back and forth every day.
Yeah, we can't even walk to the market. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
If you're not, you calling up Amazon.
You're calling up Amazon, which is another reason why we're overweight, because we call Amazon instead of going to the market.
Um, Still in all, we need a country of people that we can trust.
Trust matters more than money. If you don't
Absolutely.
have no trust, you have nothing.
And that's kind of where we have embarked upon. We've lost our trust. We've lost, as some people say, their faith, and everything that's being shown to us now. Is I ought to buy grocery through. That's okay. That's okay, Gil. We the bottom line is
Yeah.
the bottom line on that is that you still eat healthy. I know you eat healthy, so you eat small bowls, but that's okay. And you got your figure together and everything. You ain't looking like a lot of people in this country. You're doing good, so you stay on task. If you have to use Instacart, go ahead and use Instacart. But you still ordering healthy food, and that's not what they push here, because everything. When we said OPP, we meant processed processed foods we get.
Which is banned in different
Oh,
countries.
banned in every country. If you go over there and you try to get a bag of M&Ms, that's not going to happen.
Nope.
That's not going to
Or
happen.
Lucky Charms.
Lucky eat cereal 4 in the morning. Good Lord.
And the CEO of Kellogg, yep.
The CEO of what?
The Kellogg even said, if you're poor, just eat some cereal in the morning for dinner. You wouldn't tell your children that.
They don't eat cereal in the other countries.
No, they don't.
They have whole foods. That's what that's why they live longer.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have they don't have processed food. They do the exercise and they put the work in. That's why they push their pleasure, their peace, and we at war. We at war here. We taking on another war, but we constantly war here because we don't sit down and we don't.
We don't talk and solve our problems. We don't promote solving our problems. We promote guns. For every 300 million people that's in the United States, there's 380 million guns in the United States. 380 million guns.
That's a lot of guns. That's a lot of death. See, and that's what, and our country comes to that, promoting what
They promote more firearms. My Second Amendment.
But on a serious note, that's why we was comparing the blue zone to the United States, because when we was looking at that broadcast and we saw DEI, we thought that was kind of horrible, because our country, if they realized that that's what keep other countries living longer and more healthy and promote longevity, they would, Angela Merkel and them probably over there cracking up because they thinking every time we get up in the morning about the old president. The man probably healthy. He probably better than us. And what are we saying? Old, old. That's all you hear. It's like we come here and we're not supposed to live long at all. We supposed to what? Check out at, like most of the rappers. I don't think no.
Like most of the rappers.
Yeah.
Average age 27.
Oh, that's a shame. Average age 27.
The average age 27 in his 30s. That's you supposed to check out there.
How old is Diddy?
Diddy's in his 50s.
He's 54.
Yep.
And look at the trouble he got.
Mm-hmm.
If he had jetted to one of the blue zone countries,
A lot of the blue zones wouldn't want him because he wouldn't fit their character. That's the first thing.
that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. But what we're saying tonight is that when you see that word, when you see those initials DEI, don't think of it as a dog whistle. Think of it that it is our country don't use it. And that's what we need to go to policies like blue zone policies.
Like Singapore, you have to live together. There's no such things, even the concept of ghetto or the projects in Singapore. You have to live together just to get along with other races, going to school with each other. That is mandatory in Singapore.
But that's not what we push here because we want the bag. We want the money. And I don't know if you guys know this, but the bottom line is he who owns the land owns the people, and you can be a billionaire, and the person that owns most of this land is the
That owns, controls the population.
and the
And
person.
that person, the population is Bill Gates right now. He understands it.
Yep. So even if you are a billionaire, y'all still gotta call Tyrone or whoever, Bill Gates, because that's who's owning the majority. That's who's buying up most of the land. And look at the food that we're getting. We're getting a lot of processed food
And not just any processed food, we're getting genetically modified foods that's being banned in certain countries.
that's not allowed in other countries. Who owns the band?
Constitution. Yeah, that's right. That's so true.
That's right. And right now we're not playing no music. Our music is what? It's being snuffed out. You know, and JBR and Gail, um, you know, I really appreciate you guys coming. This has been a long journey. It's been an awakening of knowledge, and we're not going to come on here and tell you all nothing crazy because we get enough of that on YouTube for real.
We get a whole bunch of we get a bunch of nonsense on you. That's enough right there.
And people don't read. They not. We as we go to the library. And that's something that we do faithfully because when we come on, we want to give you the facts. And what we want to do is let you all know that we're not, and I say this all the time, I don't want to say I'm back in the day because that day is now. Everything that they're fighting now is was back in the day. So we're in this moment in time now doing the same thing.
And it's even worse. It's
It's
even much worse
it's
because of
it's
technology.
it's so much worse. But when we're bringing these topics to you, and I know a lot of times they say, well, whatever's trending, our life is trending. Our life is on the line right now. Um, Democracy is on the line. It's and it's a shame because we're seeing more and more of the hatred come out. Um, when they talk about passport bros and people leaving the country, my God, if somebody's treating you very well somewhere else, you would leave this country. You know,
That's common sense.
you would actually leave
You leave
if
the
you had better food, better education, uh, if you had the compassion, the empathy, and support of your your neighbors. You get a neighbor around here, we don't talk to any of our neighbors.
No, we don't. We get crazy
It's
neighbors.
almost like we have to fly people in. If we see the trash collector, we like, ooh, it's a person out there,
Yeah,
Hey.
just even talk to your neighbors.
And then once he see this lovely, dark and lovely skin, it's very few words. It's the head drop. You don't get no eye contact.
None whatsoever.
And that very thing, once we saying DEI, don't give up on that. Just don't. Because like it's a dog whistle here, but they're trying to change that. And it's like a tunnel dream. A tunnel dream for us.
To get DUI because there are 19 states that are even banning DUI, like Governor Kay Ivey of Alabama, Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida, Governor Greg Abbott of Texas are the three that ban DEI. Those are just the three examples already. Then you got Governor Kim Reynolds of Iowa, the governor trying to ban DUI in those Republican states.
Well, you see what his specialty is. He loves the politics, and I'm right there with him. He's teaching me, and I'm learning. I'm getting there. But as we come to you tonight, we want you to know that we want to see the longevity in our country. We want to see people happy. We want to see uh, people support each other, generational support. Not a generational drop off of bad things that one generation leave and the next generation have to clean up. We should all be team players. We should all, but that doesn't happen. Not
We are
here.
teaching people to steal and undercut prices. That's what we're doing.
And um, what I like to see, I would love for our nation to be a blue zone, be blue zone also. But we're so busy fighting the politics in this nation that, you know,
And electing incompetent leaders that we're not going to be able to get a blue zone unless we get rid of the corrupt leaders and incompetence.
unless people start focusing on a human life, because at this point, that word that has happened to us, that also happened to other nations, happened around COVID, is being demoralized. When you feel to the point that you're helpless and
What's up, Mason?
you feel that you demoralized, you feel that you can't do anything to help. It's in somebody else's hand. And even if it's in the Supreme Court hand, they should be helping. They shouldn't be trying to take us out.
But
But
they're trying to take us up. Alito, Thomas,
but
Amy Coney Burnett.
but that's the thing, because our laws, the Constitution, none of that was fixed for us. None of this was set up for us to be like other countries that are prevailing, that are living longer.
It wasn't in the first place.
And even when you look over there at the P. Diddy situation, which is, like I say, everybody's over there on the P. Diddy situation. Then the other guy, he left and he went to Bali. That's not
That Russell Simmons, he went to Bali.
okay. Well, it's strange that they can do something, but they know how our laws are, but they can run to another place where they feel like they can live better, they can do better. But that's not allowed in their countries. But look what our countries allow.
And we
Look
and
what
we
we allow.
promote it and we reward it. And we
We con
reward it. We constantly reward it. We may be upset about but constantly, but we reward this crap.
so we're glad that you stopped by to hear our madness on Blue Zone and versus the United States, because it's really not a verse. It really is.
It's really no competition. The Blue Zones win.
Yeah, the Blue Zone. Yep, they knock it out the park, and even I had to look and try to figure out, God, it's all these men, they're leaving the United States. That's probably the only way they can survive, because everything here, everything get shot down, killed here. Nobody's willing to listen. Um, and even if you do want to live, if the food don't kill you first,
If the food don't kill you, the criminal justice system will kill you. The education system will kill you. Your healthcare system will definitely kill you.
we don't have universal health care.
Or for even free healthcare. We got sick care. We don't even have healthcare at all. We have what we call death care. That's what we got, death care. It ain't no health care at all. So stop even calling the United States health care. It's death care.
Well, um, yes, Mac Malone, what is it that you got to say to us? We see you here. Thank you for coming. But we're just kind of surprised, because when that, and I saw your post, Gail. I thought that was really wonderful. I see you still at the grind. I'm glad that you're out there, you know, putting out that information, because all of us, yeah, that's right. All of us, it's it's not a pill, like you say, Gail. That is not the solution. It is not the solution at all. But that pill where we can walk across and be empathetic to other people. A lot of people don't understand that empathy is the key, is a communication key to opening doors, to be able to say, I want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear what somebody else in another nation have to say. When you talk about compassion, you're sitting there and you figuring out not just saying, okay, I got empathy or sympathy for this person, but I'm trying to figure out a way to help this person also. I got to come up with a solution to, to show that we want to we want to break down the barriers. We want to come over there and we want to learn what's making you healthy. We want to learn what's keeping you alive longer, because that's something that our country needs. We don't need all these pills. That's not what we need. We don't need a quick fix. That's quick death. That's quick death. But yet and still, when somebody blow their dog whistle and say that this is DEI, and this is not an inclusive community, we're not supporting each other. Of course, we're not going to last long. We're not. Our lives are not sustainable at all.
They don't want us to be sustainable.
Not at all.
They don't want us to be sustainable.
I love you too, Mac Malone. Shout out to you and your your podcast, and you're out there killing the game. I'm checking you out. I'm peeping into everybody's podcast, and I know they are. They know I'm peeping into it, and I'm proud of you. And you carry on. You giving out some good information, and I'll make sure that I don't take my car up to those people so they can jack me up. But uh, coming here tonight, we wanted to come on, and and I know you two have had some problems loading things up for people, but whatever information that goes out tonight, shout out to Joy
Joy Reid.
at MSNBC. Shout out to my girl at night. Shout out to Ray and Ari, because I had even wrote on the back of a piece of paper, on one of the papers, I said I wanted to kind of let them know that I was thinking about them, because when that money, money, money tune came up, I thought, well, I know Teray and they like music, and they would definitely be having a Blue Zone vibe, and we're having that same vibe too, because we're getting so much negative information that sometimes we have to take our minds like out of the United States and think about countries that are actually not existing, but actually living, actually being healthy, actually being happy, have people that's highly educated, and even if they're not highly educated, they're supporting one another. You know, I'm not yet, as I've watched and read and uh, looked at these different countries, they're not promoting the medicine like over here. That's all you get. That's all you get here. That's all you hear is medication, medication. Nobody's dedicated. Everybody's medicated, and it's crazy. But we need a healthier nation, and we need to take notes from the countries that's actually existing off of DEI. Okay, so thank you, Gail, for coming. I know that you got to go to bed, and we appreciate your support. Mac Malone, thank you for coming. Thank
JBR.
JBR for coming. And I hope you guys catch this on the replay. And so we're going to get out of here.
Subscribe so we can grow. Subscribe so Vondell Garrett and Miss Linda Ballard can grow.
And also KG TV and JBR. We really appreciate your support. Thank you. You always showing up, showing out. Mac Malone, don't you forget to come back and see Mom. That's my son too. And hey, we'll be back. And when we come back, we'll have some for real information. Not something that we made up, but actually facts. So we up out of here. So you all have a good night. Thank you.